everybody. It is Karen Coffey, and I am the founder of a company called Making Agents Wealthy. And Dion and I were just cracking up before we came live today. We're having a good time already, and we haven't even started. But Dion Witter is out of Toronto, Canada, and today's live is a little bit different. We're going to talk about where is she now? Because Dion, when did you graduate from our program?
Hello, Karen. I graduated a year ago, actually. I met you or found you last June, I believe.
Yeah.
And I was with you guys right through the summer until September. So it's been a year.
Okay, great. So a year, and that was September 2019. So a lot has happened since.
A lot has happened. Wow.
A lot has happened since we've been together. And, you know, you came through the program and none of us knew what was going to happen. But the one great thing is that, so tell us a little bit about your experience in the program, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's happened since.
So I found you on Instagram. I was scrolling and you popped up, as so a lot of people do pop up on Instagram as a coach. But for some reason, something about you, I wanted to know more. And so I clicked the link and I'm thinking, wow, I still want to hear more about what she has to offer. Right. And I might have made a call, or I'm not sure what I did, but here I am. And so I knew that I wanted something. I was at a place where I felt like I was just stagnant. There wasn't any growth. I think I was just mentally tired. I was just really drained. And I wasn't in a survivor mode, to be quite honest. I was just doing enough to get by. So I get a deal, had a good month, but I take a break for 2 months, and it was just like surviving. And then you came on board, and I just remember being on the calls with all of you ladies, and there were a few gentlemen, I think.
Yeah, we have a few good men.
Few good men, and it just kept making sense. You know, you had a system that worked, and I felt resonance. I felt like what you're saying makes sense, and I gave it 100%. And one of the first things I did, I remember going to Staples, and I bought myself a binder because you talked about the 31-day binder. But then shortly after, you sent me my own binder.
You're giving away all the secrets of the gifts. I'm kidding.
But I started doing that. I started to go through and say, okay, Dion, you need a system. And that was what I started doing. I need to call these people back on the 1st, or these people on the 5th, or whatever. And it was just such a little thing. But it was such a big thing, right?
But a bunch of little things.
A bunch of little things. One other little thing that you said, and it was just in passing, I think, but you talked about writing a schedule the night before. And I've been doing that. And it's like I go to my bed and I'm dreaming already of what I have to do the next day. So when I wake up, it's there. I'm already in that zone. You know what I mean? And it just has made things a lot easier because I know I'm getting up and I have these things to do.
You know where you're headed. Your head is in the game. You're prepared.
I'm prepared.
Yeah. Structure will give you the freedom that you need, and that's part of the structure. But go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're right. It's the structure that I need. I work from home. I'm a single agent. I'm not on a team. And what I enjoy working from home, and I'm very disciplined in a lot of ways, I just didn't have a structure. So, you know, I would just do what I think I should do. But I wasn't getting the result that I wanted to get. So
we always say, you know, I got into real estate so I could be free. No one's going to tell me what to do. And we have shackled ourselves. We have shackled ourselves to a career that takes away all of our freedom, sucks the life out of us. You said I was mentally tired. There's so many women out there that I hear with all the roles that they juggle, and men too. It's not just women, but you're just mentally tired. This is not what I thought it was going to be.
Absolutely.
And so you came through the program, and you consistently, this is where you, Dion, I just have to give you kudos, because you consistently continued after the program to implement. And life happened to you. What happened in 2020 for you?
In March of this year, just when everything got a little bit crazy with COVID. My mother, my dearly beloved mom, passed away.
Yeah.
She had struggled with lupus disease for many, many years.
Mm.
And she finally went home. And so that was during, at the start of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so I just remember going to her funeral, and we had to limit the number. And that's when it became real, that the world has changed.
Yes.
And but one thing I learned from that, my mom, she was always very quiet. She didn't have a lot of friends. And so we were planning on having this big gathering later on. And then we realized it was perfect. It was exactly how she would have wanted it. She didn't want it any other way. And so that gave us, peace that she was well. And so I took March off. It's your mother. I had to deal with anything that came up. There was sadness, there was grief, there was laughter, but whatever came up, I allowed myself to process, to go through it and to honor it, right? And it still keeps coming up, but it was new in March and I had to go through it. So after that ended, because I really wasn't sleeping, I was going to bed and just having just nightmares and, just having a hard time with it.
Yes.
And once it got easier, I remember thinking, okay, well, now I have to make a decision. The world has changed.
Yeah.
We're in a pandemic, but we are considered an essential service. I need income. I have to work.
I have to.
I have no choice.
Oh, darn.
I'm a single income commission earner. I have to go and work.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I respected all the things we're supposed to do. Wash your hands, watch your distance, wear a mask. But what I did on top of that was watch my mindset, right? And you talked about getting up in the morning and honoring your morning. And so I was getting up, as I always did, but even more mindfully. I was getting up earlier. I was getting out there, exercising more. I'm actually running. I've never been a runner.
Oh, wow.
And I'm still not, but I'm better than I was before.
You're trying.
I keep trying. And I just started eating better, started to meditate more. And I made it a conscious decision that I had to do that every single day. And on top of that, I did something else. I started to volunteer my time. I found an organization who they needed drivers. They provided meals to people who were really having a hard time with COVID. They've lost their jobs, or most of the elderly population. And so I thought, you know what, just give back. And so I started to volunteer my time every Sunday afternoon between 2 to 5. Between April right through till last month, I was delivering meals to people's homes. And just taking it off me and not needing to worry about myself and just focusing on somebody else and being a blessing to them. You're not doing it to get, but when you give, you receive, right?
That's right.
So that's what I've been doing. I've just been honoring my mindset and giving back, and it's just been coming.
And you have been exponentially blessed because of your mindset, right?
I have been. Like, I kid you not, even just today, I'm coming home. I had a showing. My phone ring. Hey, Dion, we haven't spoken in a while, but I'm thinking of listing my home. I'm like, okay. Like, the calls are coming to me. Like, my income has doubled already from what it was last year. Yeah. And we're only in September, but I have all these great hot leads that I'm working with who are ready to buy or ready to sell.
Right.
But I'm not working harder. I'm not like overwhelming myself. I'm not stressed out, because I know that it's the practices that I've been doing and implementing the things I learned from working with you last year.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about your result, because people want to know, okay, this is working great. What is the real result? And so I made some notes, and last year you did 80,000 for the year in 2019 in income, right?
Yeah, it was not the best year. Not the best year. Financially, it wasn't, but in every other way, it was a great year because, I found you guys and, slowly but surely, I kept practicing and implementing things. And today, it's working.
Today, you're at 160,000 for 2020. And you took March off. So let's not forget that. And in the middle of a pandemic, when the average agent makes about $35,000 in North America. Can you believe that? It's like, okay, if that's what you want to do, no judgment. But 160. So, you know, that is what you have done just by taking the month off, and already for this year. This year's not even over yet. We have September, October, November, December, 4 months. You have a full pipeline. So I fully expect and know that it'll be over 200K for this year.
And it's funny, just last week, my broker sent me an email.
Yeah.
And I was one of the top 5 agents in July, and I had no idea. Like, I don't do it. I don't do it for that. Like, I don't do it for the numbers.
Yeah.
And that's when I stopped to think, let me check. And I'm like, oh, you've been doing pretty well. But I haven't felt like I've been overwhelming myself. Like, I actually have been pacing myself. I've been taking breaks, you know, being on my deck. I have a pool, and I've been enjoying sitting in my backyard. And I have a granddaughter. Okay. I think, I'm sorry?
I said, and that's okay. No guilt around it. It's like, this, where's my phone? This does not have to be with you every moment.
No,
and it's okay.
No. It's okay, right?
Yeah.
I have a granddaughter. She's almost 2. She's 2 in December.
Beautiful.
And she's been home because of the pandemic, and she's convinced that she's my boss, and whenever I come into my office, she follows me. And I'm not trying to, you know, be too mean with her and telling her to get out. So I got her a chair, and she sits with me in here, and she slows me down a lot, but it's okay. Like, she's teaching me how to slow down, but it still has been working, you know, when she's away.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to shift and maneuver around what's going on right now.
Yes.
But again, don't get stressed about it. Don't get overwhelmed. Just slow down, take a breath, and go, this is where I am right now in this moment. It's not forever. You know, I know you're a big meditator, aren't you? I mean, yeah, that's an important piece. Prayer and meditation is not, you know, is something that I think is important to keeping that peace in your business, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, well, you know, if you could just tell the folks that are watching today on this live, if you could share one thing, and I have no idea what that's going to be, what would you want them to know? What would you want to share with them that might help them in their business?
Wow, there's so many things, right?
Yeah.
One thing I would say first is to believe that it is going to be okay. You have to first believe that. But also, to from what I got from you, is to have a system. You know, systems work.
Yeah.
And you have to have that in place. So for me, as I mentioned before, I think I mentioned it, I write my schedule the night before.
Right, you did. Yeah.
I have that black binder that I know I need to call these people. And I pretty sure I got this from you, but I do I call it time allocation.
Yes.
So I know I need to get on the phone. I need to make my calls.
Yeah.
It might not be 10 to 12. It might be 1 to 2 and then 4 to 5. But if I say I commit 2 hours of my time to making phone calls, I have to make those calls. There is no other way around it. I have to make the calls. It's a people business. And what I realize is that people are home more. There are a lot more people home.
Yes.
And they're not meeting with friends as they were before. And so they are appreciating the phone calls. Like, I'm having great conversations.
Isolated.
Yeah. I'm having great conversations with strangers because they realize that it's a phone call, you know, and I'm not seeing or talking to people much anymore. So I would say just to believe every day that it's going to be okay. It's going to work out, and implement the systems that you teach, because they do work. And I'm proof of that. Like,
You are.
I cannot begin to tell you how just waking up and knowing what I'm going to be doing today. And it doesn't always work perfectly. Like, some days I'm like, okay, I'm going to do you tomorrow. but I'm okay with that.
That's okay. Yeah.
Like life happens. It's okay. But I keep my commitment. I have to honor my commitment that I make to myself. Right. And that's what I do, is to honor the commitment that I make.
That is it, because this is not about having a goal. It's not about having a New Year's resolution. You've heard me say that. It's not having a wish. That's what those things are. Even a goal, when people say, I have a goal, well, you might as well just wish and throw a penny in the fountain. Because when you are committed, that's when you will do something to change.
Absolutely.
Something that you said, we want you to have fun in your business again. We don't want it to be drudgery. We don't want it to be like, oh, I'm dragging in. I got to do this. That's not what you got into real estate for. And when we call people, it's not cold calling. We're definitely not about cold calling. There's a reason for our call. We're not going to share it here, but there's a reason we call. But we do have to do those money generating activities. We call them MGAs. You know what that is. And that's what you're doing.
Absolutely.
I'm doing my MGA. Our comfort zone as agents is to not do them. Oh, I would rather do my paperwork. I'm in my comfort zone. I want to stay in my comfort zone if I'm going to write note cards and I'm going to write for birthdays. That's our comfort zone. To communicate and have the confidence to communicate in a way that people actually really receive your call and have the mindset around it. That makes business, and you're making money and you're reaching people, and you have a heart to give back and actually make people a part of your world and give back to them through your volunteer work and the clients that you work with. So
absolutely. And with I remember being on the calls with you ladies, and I would never show myself. Like I would just be in the background. Usually I'm eating or my hair is messy or something, right? But it's partly because it's partly because it's just not my comfort zone.
Right.
And so now we're in this pandemic and we're not out doing the one-on-one as I enjoy doing. I love meeting people at the office, walking them through my presentation, but now I can't. So what I've been doing is learning to just step out of my comfort zone. I just tell myself, just get over it. You just have to do it. And so I've been now recording myself on my Zoom calls and sharing little bits of information with my new leads. Yeah. And it's been received amazingly because now they're putting a face to a name.
Yes.
And it's just 3D. Like, hey, Karen, it's Dion. So nice to chat with you earlier today. And I know you're looking for a property within this price range and just whatever. But it's like quick. It's like a minute or less. Yeah. And everyone has been so appreciative of those
that one little nugget right there is going to make somebody a big old commission or several commissions, actually.
It's been working magic. It's been working magic for me. I cannot begin to tell you. And that's not who I am. Like when I first started, I used to have to, I shouldn't have to, but I was re-recording myself over and over because, I didn't like the way I look, right? Oh, and I'm like, girl, stop it. You're not doing this because you're going on a, Miss America or Miss Canada. You're just
Miss Canada, please.
Miss Canada, right. You're just saying hi to a prospect who will hopefully
Put your feet up on not on video, but just relax, have a cup of coffee, talk to people like they're people, not like they're a lead or a paycheck or something like that. Yeah.
I stopped, I had worked with other coaches in the past and I had like scripts. And I don't have scripts. And I think you talked about that, right? Just be real. I don't have any script because the way the script's read, that's not who I am, right? So now I just call people and I just talk to them. And they could tell the difference. And I'm having a lot of great conversation. I now use the video to make it even better. And as I said before, that the video is not who I am. Yeah, I do not like being on video. I'm more behind the scene. No, I like people. I love people. I'm a very super high I on the disc. So I'm a people person. Yeah. But somehow put me behind the camera. I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna see, And I'm like,
I was just gonna say, I was so excited because people can feel you and your energy before on the other side of that phone. And if you're all icky about it and you're trying to be perfect, and you're trying to
Yes.
be all dolled up, it isn't well received.
It's
And what we do
not.
with scripts, we don't have scripts, we have an outcome. This is the outcome I'm having for the call. And how I get there, we have suggestions, but
Yeah.
add your personality, your authenticity, yourself.
Yes. And
So
they could feel it, as you say, Karen, they could feel it. And just having a really good time, just stepping out of that comfort zone.
yes.
And, you know,
And
you've
making
helped
money
me
doing it.
and making money. And, you know, I think last year I kind of got caught into a survivor mode. Like I was just
Yeah.
surviving. And this year I'm like, I'm so over that. I'm thriving. I'm a thriver. Like I want to, you know, push myself and see how I could be the best version of who I'm meant to be.
You know, there's so many women that come to us and they think they're confident until they get here and they realize there's no bold power. There's no bold power that's coming through them that people can sense and then they just attract, like, you know, flies to honey, you know, they're just attracted to that. And it's not being aggressive, and it's not chasing, and it's not beating people until they say yes. That works. That's just not what we choose to do.
And that's why you work for me, because that never resonated with me. That's not who I am. I would never do business with you if that's how you treated me. So why am I expecting me to treat you that way?
Yeah.
And so I give to people what I want from them. So when you guys showed up, I'm like, this is it. This feels like home. You know, it feels like home. And
it really is. My team makes everyone, it is home. It is home.
It is
and we
really
have been
home.
so honored to have you, you know, with your mother's passing and everything. It was just, that was sadness, but you are on the mend, and we are just so proud of you and what you've done. So I thank you so much for being here, Dion. Now, if an agent out there is watching and they have a referral in Toronto, Canada, that's a massive area, what is the best way for someone to get a hold of you?
My website is www.morethanArealtor.me.
Oh, I love that.
I know. Thank you.
MorethanArealtor.me. I love it. And yes, you are. I love that. Guys, Dion is just one of many, but she is certainly significant in that her energy and who she is just shines through, and people just love doing business with her. But if you know, are just interested in learning more, just watch the presentation that Dion watched. You know, I do those webinars daily, and it's at Karen Coffey, spelled with a Y, KarenCoffey.com/making agents wealthy. And if you're just struggling, or maybe you're not, you're just ready to get to the next level. This is not about us convincing you of anything. We don't need your credit card. We don't want your credit card. We want your success. We want your success and your life to be transformed. And that's what we're looking for through real estate, in a pandemic or not. It doesn't matter. This worked last year. It works now. It will always work no matter what happened. If you're waiting, don't wait anymore. Get with us, and we just love to hold your hand. But Dion, thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karen. I owe a lot of this to you. So thank you gratefully and sincerely. I thank you so much.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.